Welcome back to another Madden 21 video. I have for you guys here today. Now today we're going to be doing a bit of an experiment. Now I did this exact same experiment in Madden 20 and I'm just genuinely curious to see if the results are going to be the same this year. I definitely feel like they're going to, because I don't think Madden changed too much in the sim logic between last year and right now. But before we really get into this video, really quickly, if you guys are not yet subscribed to the channel and if you enjoy watching Madden 21 franchise content, I would greatly appreciate it if you could hit that subscribe button down below. And if you end up enjoying this video in particular, I'd also massively appreciate it if you could hit that like button down below. So this is actually like a post commentary right now. So my audio from yesterday when I originally recorded this got messed up, and by that I mean I accidentally just deleted it all. Gotta love when that happens. I don't want to re-record the whole video because I got a lot of data from this video, so I'm not trying to do that. So instead, we're just going to post-com this one. So let me just briefly go over the roster and like the situation that we have in this video. So the question for this video is, which is more important, a 99 overall quarterback or a 99 overall running back? So last time when I did this, I used the Chiefs. You know, Patrick Mahomes was a cover athlete last year. Lamar Jackson, the cover athlete this year. So we're gonna go ahead and use the Ravens instead. So this first roster I have for you guys, also my computer's like to the left of me, so like that's why I'm gonna be looking away for most of this video. But anyway, the roster I have for you guys right now, Lamar Jackson has 65 overall stats in everything. That brings his overall down to a 38. I did that for him, RG3, and Trace McSorley, even though Trace McSorley, of course, is goated and a 99 in everyone's hearts. And then the running backs, I gave them all 99 overall stats. And we're just going to simulate 3 seasons with this team. I'm going to average out, you know, all the important numbers like the rushing yards, the passing touchdowns, offensive production, all that kind of stuff. I'll average those out for all 3 seasons and compare that to a second roster I made where Lamar Jackson's a 99 and the running backs are all like 35s or whatever their overall goes down to when you make their stats a 65. So that's pretty much the basic idea of this video. Obviously, the experiment isn't super sound, right? Because I'm just doing 3 seasons, pretty small sample size. But 3 seasons is like a decent bit in Madden Sim. You kind of can see like trends and stuff like that when you simulate a couple years with the team, just to see if like something's working or something is not working. I think 3 seasons is enough for that. But anyway, let's get into the first season and I'll let you know what the stats are looking like. Okay, so the first season with this team, they actually made the playoffs. They finished 10-6. Actually having a really solid season. Lamar Jackson, 4,257 yards, 36 touchdowns, 18 interceptions, and he is a 51 overall. I did have auto progression on just to see how these guys progressed throughout the season, but he's only a 51. He should not be playing this well. Madden is sort of broken. It also kind of seems like running backs help the quarterback productivity quite a bit. So yeah, he's a 51 overall. He's not good whatsoever, but still had a great season. And then, of course, J.K. Dobbins, 7.4 yards per carry, 15 touchdowns. Mark Ingram, 7.8 yards per carry, 20 touchdowns. Both of those guys over 1,100 yards. Marquise Brown also had a pretty good season, like 1,300 yards receiving. But the running backs are not receiving well. That's just kind of what happens in Madden. I don't really understand why, but it is very strange. Anyway, this offense played really well the first season. The second year with this team, they also went 10-6. The same exact record as the year before. They're also second place in the AFC North. So once again, the team is playing well. 4,275 yards for Lamar, 34 touchdowns, 17 interceptions. Once again, playing way higher than his overall of a 45. There's almost no chance this should happen, but whatever. J.K. Dobbins, 6.9 yards per carry, 21 touchdowns, about 1,400 yards. Mark Ingram, 7.5 yards per carry, 13 touchdowns. Gus Edwards, 7.9 yards per carry, 6 touchdowns. These guys are all absolutely going off. Marquise Brown over 1,000 yards once again, and I'm just showing you guys once again that the running backs get no love in simulation when it comes to receiving. So none of them had like any kind of crazy receiving numbers. I mean, Mark Ingram had a lot of yards per catch, but didn't have many catches. And now the last season with this team, they actually ended up with a first round bye. They went 13-3. This team is one of the better teams in the entire NFL, and their quarterback is in the 40s. Lamar Jackson, 40 touchdowns, 4,300 yards, just about 14 interceptions. I don't think I check out his overall there, but it's somewhere in the 40s. Mark Ingram, 1,500 yards, about 10 yards per carry with 19 touchdowns. J.K. Dobbins, 1,300 yards, 8 yards per carry, 14 touchdowns. And then Gus Edwards didn't get many attempts, but 7.3 yards per carry and 6 touchdowns. Receiving wise, once again, just going over this, Marquise Brown had a great season. The running backs not really receiving well at all. And this is just a quick look at that second roster I made. I didn't make RG3 and Trace McSorley both 99s because, you know, only the number 1 quarterback matters in simulation. By that same logic, I didn't have to make all the running backs 99s, but I just decided to do so anyway. But yeah, Lamar Jackson, 99 overall, with his superstar X-Factor ability, is going to be the quarterback, of course, in this roster. And then all of the running backs have 65 overall stats. I just decided to start J.K. Dobbins just because why not? But there I was just showing off how Lamar Jackson has 99 overall stats in everything, and then I will also show you guys how the running backs have 65 overall stats and everything. There we go. So just right away, this team is not playing as well as the last team. They did not make the playoffs. They went 8-8. Lamar Jackson, though, had a ton of yardage, 37 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. He's not playing that much better than he was when he was a 40 with really good running backs. Like, I guess he had a lot more yards, but yards aren't everything. Those could just be garbage time yards trying to come back in these crazy games that they're losing. But like the touchdowns and the interceptions really aren't too different. Like, this season's really good, but it's not as different as it should be, you know, from the last season. And then running is putrid. 1 yard per carry for J.K. Dobbins, 1.2 yards per carry for Mark Ingram, 1.2 yards per carry for Justice Hill. Like, no touchdowns or anything like that either. We did get 3 1,000-yard receivers, which is pretty nice. But yeah, this team was not very good. The second season, same kind of thing. 3-13, actually not the same. Sorry, this is far worse. 3-13 for this team, 4,390 yards for Lamar Jackson, 24 touchdowns, 11 picks. Every year on the last roster was a better season than this one for him, which is really strange. And then we're going to go over rushing in a second. It's horrible once again, like 1 yard per carry for all these guys. 1.4 for Mark Ingram, 1.2 for J.K. Dobbins, 1.4 for Justice Hill. Lamar Jackson can't even carry the ball actually that well. 5.6 yards per carry isn't that good for a 99 overall player. I figured he'd have much better rushing, numbers, but Marquise Brown, once again, playing super well. The running backs, of course, not doing anything in this roster at all. And then the last season, they did not make the playoffs once again. But this was better than the one before. So they went 7-8-1 this season, so still not that great of a record, but definitely way better than 3-13. These stats, 4,967 yards for Lamar Jackson, 35 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Probably his best season, at least in this team. And then the running backs, again, 1.1 yards per carry, 1.1 yards per carry, 1.5 yards per carry. These guys are playing terribly, but that's exactly what you expect. But if you think about it, the quarterback was also a similar overall, and he played really well when he had a really good surrounding group of running backs. But let me go ahead and get the averages of all of these numbers, and we can conclude the video that way. Alright, so I'm not going to do face cam for this part of the video, just because I have that graphic on the screen and I have nowhere to put the face cam. But anyway, let's go over the averages of these stats. I'm just going to look at the obvious one right away. Rushing yards. The average rushing yards for the team with the 99 overall running backs was 2,814.67. Ridiculous rushing numbers. Now compare that to, the roster with the 99 overall quarterback. The running back rushing yards were 357. There is obviously a massive discrepancy. That was expected to happen because there was a massive discrepancy in the overall of those players. But then if you look at the difference in quarterback numbers, you see an interesting kind of result. So the team with the horrible quarterback, 4,267 average yards across the 3 seasons, and the team with the 99 overall quarterback, 4,758. They're not too different. They only differ by like 500 yards, which is not that much. And then if you also look at touchdowns, the team with the bad quarterback actually averaged more touchdowns than the team with the good quarterback. And now, of course, that team with the good quarterback did have one really, really bad season of 24 touchdowns. That's definitely weighing down the total. But even if you kind of disregard that season, they're very similar numbers. They both had about 35, 36, 37 touchdowns each season pretty much. And of course, the team with the bad quarterback had a 40 touchdown season the one year, probably inflating the numbers just a tad. And still looking at the quarterbacks here, the interceptions for the team with the good quarterback were 11.3 repeating, and then the interception average for the team with the bad quarterback were 16.3 repeating. So again, not that big of a difference, at least not as big of a difference as you'd expect there to be when you have a 99 overall quarterback compared to a 50 overall quarterback at most. I don't think I pointed this out earlier in the video. I meant to, but I also used the same playbooks for this entire thing. I used the same slot receiver as well. So the quarterbacks are, with the same offensive playbook and the same receivers in the same positions the entire season, just to keep everything, the same. Once again, looking at running back touchdowns, 39 for the team with good running backs and 6.33 for the team with bad running backs. Yards per carry, 7.78 for the team with good running backs, 1.17 for the team with bad running backs. It's pretty obvious which of these two teams is the better team. It's even more obvious when we look at the average wins of 11 for the 99 overall running back team and 6 for the 99 overall quarterback team. That's a pretty massive difference. And then total points scored, 588. Let me actually, I didn't do this, but let me divide this now. 588 is a ridiculous number of points to score in one season. Let me just see what that is per game. So 588 divided by 16 is 36.75. They are putting up 37 points, essentially, each game. And compare that to 367.67. Divide that by 16, 23 points. Not nearly as good as 37 points. So these numbers are very convincing. It is very clear that the team with 99 overall running backs is way better. It also makes the quarterback play insanely well. I wonder if this would even be the case if I made the quarterback even worse. Instead of having 65 stats, maybe like 25 or even like 0 stats and make him like a 12 overall. I personally don't think he'd play well then, but maybe we can test that out in the future, or maybe we can test this out with a couple different position battles, like see what affects the quarterback more, like having good running backs or having good receivers or something like that. I don't know. We can figure some kind of video out in the future if you guys end up enjoying this one. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Where every step you take is do or die.